Hello and welcome back to Down the Track. Today we'll be reviewing the RCB versus KKR match in Sharjah. It was the AB de Villiers show. Absolutely sensational batting. It was like he was batting on a different pitch, different surface altogether. I have with me as usual my co-host, Mr. Abrar Aziz. How are you doing?
It doesn't matter how I'm doing. The atmosphere at home is good, so that's helpful.
I wish I could play. I don't have the replay, but like 4 or 5 days ago, I asked you something about RCB, and you were saying something is Salah Cup Namdo no song gonna happen. This that they don't have the bowling everything. Well, you had good points, but it's just flipping on you right now.
Bro, they like made me sit down and smacked me all over the face today. It was like I just felt that they were riding a little bit. They had issues with the bowling, but I think Chris Morris coming in really elevates this bowling team. The spinners are doing incredibly well. ABD, man, where everybody else, literally everybody else struggled, including Virat Kohli, struggled today to find the runs. But this guy just went bad shit crazy. Like that's just unacceptable. Like the way he was hitting the ball, man, hats off to ABD. I mean, he's a legend. We all knew that. He's just proving it again and again and again. I mean, if there's anyone who doubts his talent or anything by even for a second, I think that they don't know anything about cricket. So
He was stopping
absolutely,
traffic on the road today. He hit a
man,
couple
he
of
was hitting
cars.
it out of the park every single time. That's crazy. Like the amount 73 of 33, that's just magnificent. Like I don't have a word that is in the dictionary right now to explain the kind of feeling that I have to see after seeing that innings, man. Like it was like genius. I don't know. There's so many big words that come through, but it's just not enough. Like he was just absolutely incredible.
I think one man will be sitting in his hotel room right now, and his name is Faf du Plessis, and thinking why this guy didn't play in the World Cup last year. It's been 1 year since the World Cup. It's been like almost 2 years since his retirement, and he's batting like this.
Yeah, dude,
I
I don't
mean,
even know. Yeah, I not only one man in the hotel room. I think all of South Africa will be wondering what happened. But
yeah,
man, yeah, I just don't know what his
for a
inclination was doing.
retired
But
player to do that, I think hats off. Like, yeah, we've seen other retired players play well in the IPL, but like, I mean, when everyone else was struggling, like, oh come on, that was
yeah,
crazy.
just incredible. I mean, I just don't have any words. I think we can continue to keep talking about how great he is, but we all know that. So
Yeah,
this
and
is just so amazing.
if you want to talk about the partnership, you mentioned that Virat Kohli was struggling, like he couldn't hit it, but he realized that very quickly, and he
Yeah,
made sure that he ran the twos and gave AB the strike. So I mean, hats off to him as well, right? Like he
yeah.
played, like he didn't try to hog the strike and try to hit it. He knew that this guy is hitting, and maybe another batsman wouldn't have done that. They would have accepted the single and tried to hit themselves, but like he knew that it's not coming off, and after hitting at 90. Like giving the strike to AB every ball, like I mean that's really good team spirit.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's Virat Kohli for you. I mean, he understands conditions so well. Pretty quickly, I mean, he realized that he wasn't able to connect it as well as ABD was, and he figured that out quickly. And he was really not trying. I mean, yes, he scored a couple of boundaries here and there, but that's about it. And he was making sure that ABD took the strike, and that's. I mean, he's a smart cricketer. We never doubted that he's a smart player, and yeah, good on him to continue just keeping playing second fiddle. That's what he needed to do today. In the first game, last game he needed to take up the ante, and he did that. Today he had to just play second fiddle. They knew that 180, 200 would be a challenging total. They got to that, and then I mean KKR were never really in the chase at all. So
Yeah, because if he consumed more balls, it could have. They probably wouldn't have got to that
yeah,
target if he wasn't connecting. So I mean, very smart cricket. Like I don't think many batsmen would have done that. But like you said, I think his match awareness is on another level.
yeah,
And I think he knows AB's capability. So he knows that like if this guy can take the score from one place to another, that's exactly what happened. It was a
exactly.
150, 160 wicket. They were mentioning it as well in the presentation. They're aiming for 160, but they got like 30 runs because of AB.
Yeah. I mean, he's a top talent. I mean, there's no doubt about it. And yeah, it's smart cricket from Virat, no doubt.
Yeah.
Just all round, they read the conditions. The RCB team in general, they just look complete. They read the conditions well. They had tactics. They went in with that extra bowler just in case they needed if someone got tonked around a little bit. So they had that extra bowling option. They just went out there. They had their plan set. It's not normal to see RCB do that. RCB's always struggled with tactics. Or RCB's always struggled with like their bowlers. They've struggled with their support batsmen, and everyone is putting. I mean, Finch and Padikkal gave them a decent start, and then they go on and just take it to completely another level by these two champions. So more ABD of course, but that, and then just to wrap it up with the ball as well. Like there was no loose deliveries. They were on top with the ball. They were on top with the field. They looked like they were a passionate team. They wanted to win and they won it comfortably, and that
Yeah.
really helps their net run rate as well. So
And
that's
you
a very
mentioned
nice.
Washington Sutter needs to have a big IPL, and he's having it. Like he's contributing.
Absolutely.
I think they were missing that. Right now in the power play, he's been superb. He's picking up wickets as well, and he's
Yep.
giving Chahal that support. And Chahal's allowed to now bowl freely, and like he's getting the wickets and putting pressure on the batsman.
100%. I mean, Washington Sundar, we all knew he had a talent. He kind of got rushed into the Indian team and everything. I think that's why he was a little bit underperforming over there. But I think I never really doubted his talent. He was an excellent cricketer. I think he's shown a lot of his bowling has come to the party this season, and the batting remains to be seen to an extent. But I'm sure that that will come good to. That will eventually come good as well. He's only 21 years old. He has a lot of cricket left in him, so he's a important player for Indian cricket as well as, of course, RCB right now.
Yeah, and for KKR, I mean, a very disappointing performance.
Yeah,
They almost lost against Punjab. They should have lost against Punjab. They pulled that back, but
yeah,
a very poor performance with the ball. Like when AB is going like that, it's a bit difficult. But 194s, they should have at least taken it close, considering it's Sharjah. I mean, Russell is not clicking. Morgan
yeah,
is not clicking.
yeah.
You saw Tom Banton today came in. He's a good striker of the ball, but he struggled with the conditions. So, your overall thoughts on KKR?
Yeah, KKR, like when they play like this, you just really wonder what's going on. Like I mean, this is a quality side, and they're not like this usually. I mean, but it just feels like they kind of are relying again on their star players, and the star players are struggling this season. Last season they were not. Russell had like an incredible season last season, but the likes of Morgan and Russell, and to an extent Cummins, who's been bowling a little bit off also, and Dinesh Karthik. These are your experienced stalwarts, and these guys have struggled this season, and that's kind
Uh,
of been
uh,
the problem.
on that point, my question is how much is that to do with the conditions? Because these two batsmen, Russell and Morgan in particular, like the bat ball coming onto the bat. So how much is that to do with conditions, or is just that they're not in the right frame and they're just not in form?
No, I think a little bit of not being in form and a little bit of the conditions as well. Because Russell, yes, in Chinnaswamy, he's a different player in a pitch that is a little struggling a little bit for like pace. He's completely different player. Expect a little bit more from Morgan because he's been there, done that. He struggles with the shorter ball, but there's not that much in this season over here. But I expect him to adapt because he's a I mean, he's changed England cricket's fortunes over the past 3-4 years. So I expect a little bit more from him for sure. But not only that, I think that the support staff also, like for Bangalore, the support guys like in Rana, in Gill, these guys have been like Padikkal over there, or for example, Dubey, Washington Sundar. These guys are performing. These guys are the support guys, right? Apart from your stars. And here, the support guys are not doing that well. Every once in a while, yes, you see a Rahul Tripathi score, or you see like a decent bowling performance by a Mavi or Nagarkoti, but or a Varun Chakravarti. But it's just inconsistent over there, and their stalwarts are struggling. So it's gonna be it's if this continues to happen, then it's gonna be hard for KKR to fix that fourth spot. That gives an opportunity for like a Sunrisers or a Rajasthan to like start hoping that they may be able to sneak into that fourth position.
Yeah, definitely. And do you think Narayan not playing was a big miss, or is just that they could have still won without him, and just the poor batting in the end?
I think that Narayan not playing was an important thing for them to be able to maybe restrict a little bit, because he's a smart cricketer. He would have been able to maybe trouble ABD a little bit more. I'm not saying that ABD would in the kind of form that he would have probably tonked him out as well. But just like a little bit more guy, a little bit more use of kind of different variations might have made ABD struggle just a touch, I think, and that could have been an important factor. But I still think that with the way Bangalore went today, I think they would have continued to go on and win this game either way.
Yeah, and your player of the match apart from maybe Villiers.
Yes, I cannot go past him, man. Like, I mean, he set it up. He did everything well. Like, there was no question. But I think if you have to choose somebody else apart
I
from
mean,
ABD,
that's a given, so that's why I was just
yeah,
giving you another option.
I
That's a
think I
given for
think
sure.
Chahal for 4 overs, 12 runs and a wicket. That's a pretty decent effort as well. Like, he
Yeah,
kept it tight. He never really gave them a chance. Or even for Washington Sundar, 4 overs, 20 runs, 2 wickets. That's
yeah.
that's a decent shout as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, but the man who changed the game was AB for sure,
Yeah.
100%. And just before we move on, what's the difference between RCB this year and RCB last year? It doesn't have to be a player, but just like if something that what stands out for you. apart
I
from
don't know.
winning the game.
Maybe Simon Katic,
Yeah, the coach.
the coach. I don't know. Maybe that's it. I can't think of
Because
anything else.
it's a very similar unit, but I think the difference is now the other players are chipping in. They're helping the likes of Kohli and AB, because like we've seen AB play these innings, but RCB still lose games
Yeah.
with the ball, right? So like
Yeah.
I think now the other players are chipping in. I think the likes of Saini as well has been remarkable this season. Morris's inclusion, of course, definitely really good.
Yeah.
Udana's also played a very silent role. It hasn't looked like he's got hit here and there, but
Yeah.
it's been an effective role if you think of it as well. And then the two spinners, I think,
Yeah.
brilliant. So
So that just in general, like they've just been a much more complete team. They've really thought it out. I mean, only 2020 could have made this happen. I keep saying this again and again. It's just I should have just gone with them to win the tournament in the previews, just because it's 2020, So it's funny, but yeah, I mean, it's good. These Bangalore fans, they've been struggling. They've been passionate fans for these guys for about 13 years now. So it's nice to give them a little bit of hope. I still don't think they'll win the tournament.
Yeah, they won't. I mean, yeah, like your prediction was they won't make the top four, but that still might be a possibility.
That I think they will definitely make now. I think they'll
Yeah.
definitely make the top four, I think.
But yeah, no tournament for you.
I don't think they'll win the tournament this time. They'll be the finalists maybe, but they'll lose again.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. You still have the likes of CSK, Rajasthan also lurking around, so anything can happen in this table. Like it can flip flop. Right now, it looks like there's a set top three, but that could all change in a few days.
Yeah.
So let's see how that goes. But moving on to the next game, tomorrow's game, CSK Chennai Super Kings versus Sunrisers Hyderabad. We're back. Hometown versus the city that you lived in. The city that you lived in, yeah. So we're back.
My hometown if I don't live in that
city. I mean, the city of your birth versus
city that I lived in. Okay, fine.
So who are you? No, I'm not going to ask you that. But I was going to ask you who are you supporting. But will CSK get the form back against Sunrisers Hyderabad?
Sunrisers Hyderabad, I don't know if I've kept telling you this in the past. We are a bogey team for people who want to come back in form. We saw that happen in Rajasthan. Out of nowhere, they plucked a victory out from us. It's happened in the previous seasons as well. Everyone was just struggling a little bit. I thought that it would happen in Punjab as well, if I'm being very honest, but we were lucky on that in that front. But if CSK want a bogey team to come through to change their fortunes, Sunrisers is your team. But having said that, I think that there's a lot of issues in that batting lineup, unless they have like some real Suresh Raina flies in and starts playing for them or something.
But that's the thing with CSK. They have a lot of problems, but then one day they can just show up and win the game and go back and 100%. Then lose the next game. They're that type of team. We saw that against 100%. Punjab. Like that's so many problems, and then they won by 10 wickets, and then they lost the next game. So.
Yep. I think that you never really write that team off because of the experience and the talent that they have. A Watson show or a Faf show, for that matter, a Deepak Chahar gives you 2-3 wickets early quickly, and then you never really recover from that. This is such a balanced IPL that anybody can win on their day. It's just a matter of millimeters, sometimes matter of inches. Sometimes you saw Punjab lose by 2 inches almost. It was just like so unfortunate. So. It's a tricky situation, but I think in terms of in paper, I think Sunrisers are a little bit more potent in their batting. They're a little bit they've been better bowling wise, also doing okay. Not as well as you'd like them to, because they should have won last game, but they're doing okay. Like they can fine tune a couple of things and see how they can work that, and then they can really come out there and hope for the best. But I think that Sunrisers has a little bit of an edge in this game.
Yeah, and for Sunrisers, the death bowling, how would you see that panning out? Like, would you do something different, or in terms of plans, or in terms of bowling changes, or they just need to stick to their plans and hope it works out?
I think they have to stick to their guns and just hope that it works out, honestly. They just have to hope that Sandeep can give you a couple of overs towards the end.
Khalil, I mean, the idea was right to bowl Yorkers. They just didn't execute it.
Exactly. Khalil can hopefully give you one, and then Natarajan can bowl your the two in the last 3 or 4, so that kind of gives you that little bit of that's your best bet. You really don't have a lot of other options. You can try Billy, but Billy gives you the foreign option issue. Sid Cole is not worked out. But I think maybe you want to try Basil Thampi, who's sitting in the bench. Maybe he's an option, but it's unlikely that they'll change this team, because this is probably the best bowling side. Yes, it's been struggling a little bit, but you just need to back the boys.
Yeah, and for CSK, how important is Raidu's role in this team? Because we have Faf and Watson. If they get you off a good start, you still need a Raidu there, who can build that innings and guide their team through.
I agree. I think Vradu is very important. I think he seems a little bit off the pace right now. Like we were discussing even in the last game, he didn't show any kind of urgency. He was really not able to get going. He tried a couple of times, no doubt, but he's not able to get going. These slow pitches are he's struggling a little bit with it. He's a better batsman than he's shown in the past game or two. So he needs to step it up. And the
And he
middle
likes
order
playing
needs
against
support.
Sunrisers.
Yeah, for sure. And the middle order needs to step it up. If they're going to continue with Jagadishan or bring in somebody else, whoever it is, they need to step it up. Dhoni needs to take some more responsibility of trying to finish the innings off and stuff like that. So they know exactly what they need to do. They just have to go out there and execute it, I think.
Yeah, and your players to watch out from each team?
Mahendra Singh Dhoni and Rashid Khan, if he can come back after a 4 over 25 runs, which he did.
Come back. Oh wow.
I cannot accept that from Rashid Khan.
but it's true. The standards he set, it felt like he went for so many runs, but it's true. But yeah, I think decent. I'll probably look out for Johnny Bairstow. I think he could change the game for Sunrisers Hyderabad because when he gets going, Warner hasn't been clicking. He's been very consistent still.
Yeah.
Despite not hitting the ball well, that shows how important he is to this team.
And he can one out of the middle of the bat, and then he can really get going.
That could change. Yeah, but I think Bairstow, if you notice this season, he scored 350s, but whenever he scored at a very quick rate, and it's helped Sunrisers win the game. So I think his strike rate will be very important, and if Warner can strike at that rate, then he'll also can change the game for sure.
I'm trying to see where the game is tomorrow. Is it Dubai?
It's
Abu Dhabi.
I think
Dubai,
it's in Dubai.
So it might be a little bit of it won't be as difficult as the Abu Dhabi pitch, I guess. So a little bit more to play.
It'll be interesting if Sunrisers chase. They've been batting first every single game in the last. They chased one game, I think, the first game of the season, and that was.
And that's when they broke it. They lost it.
Yeah, even against Mumbai, I think one game. But apart from that, they've been batting first. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that middle order and stuff when they chase.
True.
But it's going to be a fun game to look forward to. Who do you think is going to win?
I can't go against my home team, Sunrisers Hyderabad, to edge it.
I thought you said home team. You said not
that
home.
That is my home team.
I thought you said hometown. But fair enough. I think it'll be an exciting game. Can't wait for tomorrow. But thank you so much for joining me. Any last thoughts?
No, I just look forward to it being a one-sided game in Sunrisers' favor.
Definitely, I think that'll be good for you and for me. But can't wait for tomorrow. I'll see you then. Take care and have a good night.
You as well.
Thank you.